June. I'm going to call to order the June 7th virtual public workshop meeting of the Highland Park Board of Education. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the Highland Park Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting, setting forth the time, date, and location to be submitted for publication to the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger, and posted on the board's website at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting. Members of the public who wish to address the board will be given the opportunity to do so before the board adjourns for the evening. During this meeting, we ask that all members of the public mute themselves unless they are speaking during a public comment period. If necessary, we may mute you ourselves. You may leave your video on or off at your option. If we experience bandwidth problems and believe that limiting video would help, we may turn video off. We will have opportunity for public comment. If at that time you wish to speak, please raise your blue virtual hand in Zoom and wait for me to call on you. If you cannot raise your virtual hand, or if I miss your virtual hand, please turn on your camera and raise your real hand. New Jersey law requires us to inform you that all commenters must behave appropriately in Highland Park. This means no screaming, obscenities, or inappropriate video displays. In the event of a speaker's inappropriate behavior, they will be muted. Linda, could we have the roll call, please? I am looking for Linda.
She's here,
There you are. Hi, Linda.
but we're not hearing her.
Linda, can you hear me? I don't think Linda can hear. Unmute yourself. Nope.
All right, I'm going to, Linda,
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, she's there, but she's not, she's muted. There you are, Linda.
1, 2, 3. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You were
You can
muted.
hear me?
Yep.
I cannot hear.
Oh, gosh. I'll chat. Oh, no chat. I'm going
Need a
to,
phone number. Need a phone
Okay.
number.
you need a phone number. Scott, can you do that? And how about
Yeah,
taking
Mark,
roll?
time out, Mark, time out. Let me be the one to be in communication with Linda. So hang on,
Okay,
just
we
give me a
can
second.
hear
I'm
you,
gonna quick
Linda.
call.
We're going to use sign language. Can you text me? Is there a phone number I can call? Can you hear me?
Okay, we'll straighten this out.
Okay, give me minute and a half.
Okay,
Scotty on the spot.
Scott, what do you plan to do? You're going to take roll or you're going to wait for Linda?
Oh, no, I'm gonna wait for Linda.
Okay.
At 8 in my wheelhouse.
I have to ask you one thing. My name appears there, but I was gonna like to have my picture to show my smile.
You
Go ahead,
need to,
Scott.
you need to stop, you need to start your video.
Oh, okay.
And it's somewhere on your screen, depending on what device you're, there you go. Okay,
Hi,
and
Scott.
Linda seems to
Hi,
be
Dr.
getting
Taylor.
started.
To the,
Hi,
to
Board
the
of Ed.
first,
Wait,
to the individual who just texted me that Linda has to exit and come back in. She tried that already. So we're gonna have to go to the next step. So hang on, everybody. We're gonna get there. All righty.
If you're joined with audio, you could click on the lower left where it says like the mic, the mic button, and click on switch to phone audio, and that will show you the phone number.
Ah,
Yeah, that might work. And she just got the text at the same time. She'll
Okay,
be able
great.
to call
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
Let's all give her another 30 seconds or so. Mark, I think this is the first technical problem we've had since March of 2020.
yes, this is indeed our first technical glitch. And while we're talking about that, we are now discussing going to in-person board meetings in July, which will make life a little easier, except we will continue to have Zoom for the public. So for public commenters, we will have Zoom. And for the board meeting itself, we will be hopefully in public. Although that's a
Okay,
different
I'm-
challenge.
I'm in.
Oh, we hear you.
Okay.
Great. Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on speaker so I don't have to hold this thing.
Fabulous. Way to go,
Okay,
Linda.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I restarted my computer and it still didn't work, and then I ran out of time.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Okay. So Linda, could we have the roll, please?
you sure can.
Thank you.
Ms. Zimmer,
Here.
Ms. Coleman,
Here.
I couldn't hear you, but if that was Gowan, here.
you're gonna.
Mute on us, Linda. I'm
Yeah,
here.
sorry. Okay,
I'm here. Nope, you're muted.
Mr. Magaziner,
Here.
Ms. McFadden Nicola,
Here.
Ms. Bruce,
Here.
Mr. Rizlevich,
Here.
Mr. Woodward,
Here.
thank you.
Linda, thank you. So now for the pledge, and anyone who'd like to, I never say this, but anyone who'd like to unmute themselves, please go right ahead and do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
flag.
to the flag
of the United States
States
of
of
America
States
and to
and to
the
the
republic
republic
for which
for
it stands,
which stands
one
One nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty
liberty,
and justice
for all.
justice
for all.
for all. Hey, Mark, you get the feeling that we've entered the twilight zone?
Well, between the heat today and the and the humidity and Zoom acting up like this, I certainly feel that way. But my family makes fun of me for being early to everything. And this is one of the reasons I always am early, because I can't stand when things go wrong. Okay, so we are, excuse me. We are on to communications. It's been about a month since we had our last board meeting. And we had 17 communications that were to the board, and we did answer them all. So rather than me go through all of the names and so on, I want to make a few comments about the communications very briefly. The first is, of course, anyone who wants to send a message to the board can send a message to board@hpschools.net. You can't, it's not going to really work if you try to send it to every board member individually, because that won't go to the superintendent. It won't go to Linda, who collates these and keeps track of them. You'll miss a board member and it won't be to the board. So just say board@hpschools.net, it will get to us. There were a number of questions, including questions that weren't to the full board, about what are we doing next school year in September? And I wanted to read a very short statement, part of a short statement from the governor on May 17th. On the conclusion of this school year, portions of Executive Order 175 allowing remote learning will be rescinded, meaning that schools will be required to provide full-day in-person instruction as they were prior to the COVID-19 public health emergency. In other words, we're going back to regular school. And, you know, the governor could always have another executive order if there's another pandemic for some reason. But for this pandemic, at least, we're planning, every school district in the state is planning to have I'm going to call a regular and I hope pretty normal school year. And in Highland Park, there has not been a case of COVID-19 in 9 or 10 or 11 days. And then the week before that, only one case. So we're back down to practically no cases. In the county, we only had 10 cases today. That's in approximately 1 million people. So the numbers have gone down dramatically and drastically. So there's just an enormous change. And of course, we're seeing it because of all the vaccine that's out there, you know, 60-some-odd% of people, probably more in Highland Park. Another thing that I wanted to mention is there were questions about the track and field and getting those fixed. Work is ongoing on getting the money together. There's a little wild card, which is that the latest federal grant, it's called Sr3, is now ready for us to start to putting in our papers for that in order to get that. The Sr3, presumably, we've been told will authorize approximately $2 million to go into the district. And that money may be less strictly abided by. In other words, we could spend it on things other than masks and air conditioning. We can spend it on things like fixing facilities. So if that's the case, that will help us enormously in getting this work done quickly for the track and field. That application, Sr3, is going to be going in during June. And then 2 other very brief things. As I said before, while we were waiting, we are looking at starting in-person board meetings in July. That will have a component of the public being able to speak through remote, through Zoom. It's a little complicated technically, but we should be able to do it. And then the last thing is that we have been asked by a whole number of people about later start times at the middle and high school, and investigation will be ongoing over the summer, being led by our acting superintendent, Dr. Nicosia, to see what we can do to make something like that happen, if we can make that happen. And which the board, at least once before while I was on it, most of the people here were on it, did vote in favor of starting later. It just became very technically difficult. We'll see if we can get by those difficulties. So with that said, are our students here, our student reps here? I did not look, I was speaking so fast.
I did see Polly. So Polly?
Right, either Polly
maybe she stepped out then.
either Polly or Mariana. Are they, either of you here?
Hello, I'm here. It's
Oh,
just-
Mariana,
There
great.
you are.
Hello, yeah, Polly, I just texted her and she's having some issues with her computer.
Oh,
She's trying to like restart it right now so she can join like as soon as
Okay.
fantastic.
Good to see. Mariana picked up quite a few awards at Senior Awards Night, so it's good to see her back with us. Congrats on that,
Thank you.
Mariana. Yeah.
There you are. Do you have a report for this week?
I do. I'm just trying.
You want to wait for Polly? No,
Yeah, just
no
start for me.
problem.
If not, I'll start.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
there's Polly. Hi, Polly.
Hi, I'm having.
Great to
computer
see you.
issues. Okay. Okay, so I guess starting with the high school, HP Monk's eMonk 2.0 was a really big success. The theme was change history, and the conference featured, several committees throughout various, pivotal moments in time. The club raised around $1,500 to split between the food pantry and the club itself, because they do fundraise for students to attend conferences in non-pandemic years. The senior awards ceremony last week was a great way to honor all of the senior achievements this year. And I know a lot of the seniors had a really great experience at prom. So that was really nice. And then congratulations to the senior students of the month, Emma Dietz and Kenneth Chow. For the middle school field day, the first day of field day was today. Apparently it was a huge success, lots of fun outside. And then remote students worked from several activities from Zoom. June 10th is the 8th grade dance. June 15th is 8th grade awards and the 8th grade moving up ceremony at 10. And then Miss Paxton nominated James Zhu for the NCTE competition, and he was acknowledged with an award of recognition for his poetry and story submissions this year. And then Aicha Rogers' project for the SEL Lab Challenge was selected as a winner. She entered the contest through the Night Owl program in the middle school. The live SEL Creative Lab virtual awards events were on Thursday, May 20th. So congrats to her.
Holly, it's just not loading for me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Lots of
it's
issues
not.
today. Okay. Okay, so I can just finish. In Bartle, the 5th grade students will participate in Camp Bartle June 10th and 11th in lieu of the normal Camp Bernie. And that'll be at Donaldson Park. And then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade students will each have an end of the year celebration on the Bartle playground, thanks to the PTO who are sponsoring a Rita's Ice Truck for the students to enjoy during the celebration. So that sounds really fun. The Bartle Book Stroll will be held this Wednesday, June 9th at 5 p.m. And then the 5th grade moving up ceremony will be held on June 16th at 10 a.m. Irving's whole school picnic was a huge success as well. Thanks to everyone that made that experience really special. They're also looking forward to the end of the year musical performances and Irving's Strawberry Fest, which will also be this Wednesday to welcome the new families who will be joining in the fall.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, Mariana. We'll see you. I think your last meeting with us is probably next Monday. So I think we're going to have new reps starting in July, and then we'll see you at graduation. Looking forward to that. We are now on to the superintendent's report, which I think most of our guests are here for. So Scott,
correct.
please take it away.
So the first June meeting every year, since at least I've been on board now 6 years, 5.5 years, we have spent the time reflecting on the year and recognizing some very important people to the school district. And with that, I always invite my just about my entire leadership team to come out and say a few words about these special people who were honored for various reasons. So I'm going to present the certificate on the screen. The individuals will be calling out have actually gotten something from me personally that I hope they'll display. And with that, I'm going to introduce our Irving principal first to talk a little bit about her recognition. So Megan McNally, Miss McNally, step up.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for joining. So I have two very important people I would like to recognize tonight, and I'm going to start with my teacher of the year, Miss Terry Silverman. I saw that you are on. There's a lot of boxes on my screen. So I have a couple of words to share about Miss Silverman. Awesome, here we go. She's an amazing educator, community member, and professional. She truly embodies what it means to be a team player. She's incredibly organized and efficient. Ms. Silverman has been extremely supportive and spends a great deal of her personal time helping both staff and students. She has voluntarily done one-to-one small group Zooms that support her coworkers with literacy footprints. She is thoughtful in her planning with her students and is very flexible, with her primary goal always being to support our students with the greatest needs. She is always ready to lend a helping hand whenever anyone in the building needs help. She is also an integral member of the IRNRS team and offers sound advice and helpful teaching strategies. The students learn so much with her, and she continually seeks out workshops on her own time. Throughout the pandemic, Mrs. Silverman communicated with families to choose the best time for her to work with their child, and she has been an integral part of our students' success. She attends trainings and reads books for professional development in order to keep up with the newest methodologies. As a member of the Highland Park community, Mrs. Silverman volunteers her time for the Highland Park Athletic Boosters. She volunteers at Irving events and is always willing to help families in town. Irving is a better place because of Mrs. Silverman. Please join me in congratulating Mrs. Terry Ann Silverman on being Irving's Governor Teacher of the Year.
Speech. No, don't worry, Terry. No, don't worry. Don't worry.
So Megan, thank you so much. That was lovely. And Scott, thank you for my award. I have it here.
Welcome.
And I just wanted to say how really special it felt to be recognized with this award. And especially this year of all years, when I feel like my colleagues have everyone's been just knocking it out of the park, doing such amazing work, the creativity, the collaboration. So it feels really special to be honored this year. And it really is a pleasure to be part of Team Irving. So thank you very much.
All right, Terry Ann.
All right, let's see. Next up, I will talk about our Educational Services Professional of the Year. This is Audra Zadati.
Whoop.
All right, there we go. So hello, Mrs. Zadati and your family. I saw you all on here. A couple of words about Mrs. Zadati. She has been a shining example of a paraprofessional in all they bring to the field of education. She's supportive to the teachers she works with. And this year, in the most difficult of times, she was an integral part of the day-to-day schedule for our remote teaching staff. And she still continues to be working, both being in the building and helping our remote classrooms. She can be counted on for her technology skills, her attention to detail, her ability to assist our neediest students, and her patience. She has a lot of it. She has such a warm and kind manner with the students that can even be felt over Zoom. Administration can always count on Mrs. Zadati to orchestrate our car line efficiently and make connections with our Irving families. She goes above and beyond her call of duty and truly deserves the honor of being Irving's Educational Services Professional of the Year. Please join me in congratulating Mrs. Zadati.
You deserve it.
Yes, she does.
Congratulations. Oh, Audra, you're mute. You're muted. There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this honor. I really do appreciate it. And I really do appreciate being a part of such a great team at Irving. It is really a great team effort at Irving, and you can't help but want to do your best.
Thank you. And thanks, Miss McNally, for being here. Miss Snap, our Bartle principal, is also here. So I'd like her to take the mic.
Hi, everyone. Thanks all for coming out to honor our amazing teachers and ESP professionals. So tonight I am going to honor two of my staff who deserve this honor so much. I'm going to start with our Teacher of the Year, Ace Doldowski. So Ace is a phenomenal and dedicated educator. Students absolutely love to be in Miss Doldowski's class, and that's because she builds a classroom community that is welcoming and inclusive, and the students just love to be there. She takes the time to truly know her students and their families. She identifies not only their academic needs, but their social and emotional needs as well. ACE works hard to meet each student's individual needs and will advocate for her students to get them what they need. When she doesn't know what to do to support her students, she's always willing to reach out and collaborate with other staff members to make sure they get what they need to be successful in the classroom and beyond. ACE is extremely collaborative and communicative with the staff in the building, administration, and families. She is a teacher leader who takes on many roles in Bartle and the district. She is an active member on many committees. I think at this point, it might be all of them. I don't know where she finds the time. And she's always, it's not that she's just on the committee. She's always contributing her insight for educational improvement. She always wants Bartle and the school district to be the best that it can be. ACE is passionate about what she does, and you can feel that energy the minute you walk into her classroom or are working with her collaboratively. ACE is truly a rock star educator and deserves this award and more. Congratulations, ACE.
I must also add that Aislinn is the face of the Graduate School of Education's teacher recruitment program. Almost every flyer that they put out now has Aislinn on the front.
It's so true, but I need an updated picture because I was so young then. I second everything that was said before me, that this year it feels even more meaningful because of all the shifting and pivoting and changing that we had to do this year. It was very unpredictable, but at the end of the day, despite being the one receiving this award, it's really a collaborative effort. And my colleagues and my leadership team, they just really give me the motivation to do more and be better. And I really appreciate this award. So thank you.
Okay. And now I will honor our ESP of the year, Sandy Stratadakis. Where is your box, Sandy? I can't find you. So Sandy has been a paraprofessional for 25 years and is one of the most dedicated paraprofessionals there is. She is flexible and understanding and always goes with the flow, no matter what is going on in the school. No matter which student or students she is assigned to, she will do everything in her power to support them and help them be successful. She is collaborative and has an excellent relationship with the staff and families in the building. Sandy is always good at making the students and staff smile every morning, every day, every minute of the day, with her sense of humor and her stories, which are sometimes a little bit crazy. Sandy gives her all each and every day and is so deserving of this award. Congratulations, Sandy. I can't see you.
Good job, Sandy.
Thank you. I just want to say the crazy part is most of those stories are very true. And,
Love it.
Thank you. You know what? I've really always enjoyed this job. And I think when you enjoy what you do, it makes it easy. I will say getting the award this year, it does mean something because I basically learned how to Zoom this year. And I knew very little about any of this. So it was a ride. And I will say that I owe Radhika a lot because that woman has talked me through more than you could possibly imagine. So, but thank you anyway.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Ms. Knapp, for being here as well. Miss Brady is our middle school principal. Come on up, Miss Brady.
Everybody, thank you. So I have two very special women that I am recognizing tonight. I say this and I mean this, that I have nicknames for many of my staff members, and I always thought of them as terms of endearment. And so, you know, even if they're silly, it's because I value them tremendously. So I have my Jazzy Anand, my Miss Jazzy, and my little Luxa, and that's what I call them, and that's what I'll address them as. So the teacher of the year, my Jazzy, Just a few things that I can say. I mean, I could go on and on about Miss Anand, but Miss Anand is a leader in her department and her grade level, to say the very least. She is tremendously positive. I had no idea that she was going through almost a crisis, I would say. She has a lot of family members in India and who have, suffered under this horrific plight. And Jasmeet came in every single day with a smile on her face and just this ability to laugh and find happiness in just the depths of the sadness that I admire beyond anything having to do with education. It's just something personally I value in you tremendously. I know it sounds silly, but does mean I never have to follow up with you. I send emails all the time to my staff, and everything that I ask, you immediately respond. You say done, and sometimes I wonder, did I actually hit send, because I don't hear from anybody except for Jasmeet, and I'm like, oh, thank God I did send it. And it's these little things that I'm so appreciative of, and that goes such a long way that you guys, you just don't know how much it means. So I just want to recognize that. You are so willing to embrace new initiatives with fidelity, excuse me. You do it until it's right. You ask for help, you consult resources, you do research yourself, and you reflect as you implement these things. And I couldn't ask for more in an educator that I'm working with. You have high expectations for your students, but you also have an SEL approach. And so you have these a firm stance, but they know that they can come to you. And I value that tremendously. You were so supportive of me when I was applying for this job, and you came to me every day and you said, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And you still are one of the people who come to me on my darkest days and you say, Brady, you can do it, you can still do it. And I can't tell you how much I value that. I mean, I don't think you know how much it means to me. So I personally thank you for that. You're innovative, supportive, smart, you're caring, and you're a woman that I'm honored to call my friend. So I congratulate you, Jasmeet, and I thank you just for your tremendousness, I would say. Congratulations.
Caitlin,
yeah.
I have to add, she's done a pretty darn good job as a mom. We have Gervin here.
I saw Gervin.
Gervin is the salutatorian this year for the high school, number 2 in the class. So obviously, Jasmeet's a do it all kind of person.
I can't say enough about her. I just love my Jazzy. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much, Caitlin, and thank you, Dr. Taylor. And I can't take all the credit. I have to say, my family puts in all that effort for my son. And then in school, I have wonderful staff that I work with. My colleagues are amazing. It seems like it's an extended family. And my students are amazing. I come every day because of them. So it is made real easy because of these lovely students that I have. So thank you so much. This is truly an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jasmeet. Yay. So my little Luxa, my ESP of the year, these are 2 wonderful, wonderful people to recognize. So I really feel very, very honored and blessed to be here to be able to do this. So Juliana was thrown into her position with not a whole lot of direction. And she took this job as Dean of Restorative Practices and she crushed it. I mean, I couldn't say anything more about it. She has created, she's made the position. She's written the restorative handbook. She's created the language. She's helped create our OWL period. She's facilitated restorative conferences for students and teachers in the most diplomatic and professional of ways. And I just admire her ability to have come in as what seems like a 12-year-old, Juliana, because I don't think you're 30 yet. I don't think so, which is hard to believe, but you were so young and you were able to come in and be a leader. And for staff who might have, said, oh, come on, why are we going to listen to this, this young nobody. And you said, I don't care. I'm going to teach them what I know. I'm going to show them what I know. And that's exactly what you did. Exactly what you did. You have worked so hard to build this program in Highland Park from the ground up while finishing an educational program of your own. And I look at you some days and I don't know how you do it, because you spend all day with us. You do our night owl program, you do our cheerleading, and then you go home and you do more school, and you do, all of your hours for your internship. And, I'm tired just looking at you, and I can't imagine what you're, no, and I mean that, but it's a tremendous amount of work, and it's just, it's something that I admire in you. And so even though I watched you grow up, I like I said, I can't believe you're not 30 yet, because I feel like I've known you for 25 years. And I say this, and I don't mean this at all sarcastically, but like, I want to be you when I grow up, Juliana. I just think that you are spectacular. So congratulations to you. You guys both deserve this. And I'm just honored to be here to say that for you. So congratulations.
Caitlin, I want to be you when I grow up. What are you talking about?
Oh, we're twins.
Thank you so much. The program really would be nothing without like the support that I get from everyone. It's like so incredible to be somewhere where I could take my crazy ideas and like run into your office and say, hey, I have this crazy idea, let's do it. And we can sit and like do it together and have such a beautiful vision, and who benefits from it but our community and our kids and our families. So thank you so much for supporting me and fostering me and mentoring me to be able to do that for the community. I'm really grateful.
All right. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Caitlin has two retirees. I'm sorry, one other person who's a recognition and a retiree who, no, forgive me, Mary Beth is retiring as well. So we have two retirees, but they can't make it. Yeah, Robin Zabalski, the school nurse, and Mary Beth Brand is one of our parents. They're not here tonight, but they've been given plaques and certificates as well. Mike, it's your turn. Please talk a little bit about your high school rock stars.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Taylor, and to the Board of Education. I also want to give a shout out to all the teachers and educational service professionals of the year for the other buildings. Even though I'm up here at the high school, I interact with almost, I think, every single one of them this year, whether it was working at Irving or actually interacting with Ms. Silverberg's children, or interacting with Ms. Anand's children, or actually teaching Ms. Stratadakis' children. I really, congratulations to all of you. But I'm here, but I'm here to actually recognize the high school award winners. Particularly, let's start off with the Teacher of the Year, Mr. Brett Roche, who's been at Highland Park High School for 14 years, since 2007. And the first thing that I think of when I think of Mr. Roche is someone that's incredibly humble. When he came into education, he was an alternate route person trying to switch careers, and boy, did he have an impact. And what's nice about the high school is when you get the nominations, you can really quote the kids and what they actually had to say. So I'm going to begin with a quote from one of his students. Mr. Roche led his class at a wonderful pace. He made the subject interesting and captivating and aided us whenever we needed help. He taught with patience and respect and kept the students' needs in mind when creating our next assignment. He was very kind and personable, very easy to approach, and understanding if we made a mistake or missed a deadline. Whatever he expected of us, he taught, meaning he didn't just expect us to know things out of thin air. Before I even had him as a teacher, he allowed clubs to meet in his room when we had nowhere else to go. I could also see that he allowed students to use his classroom during breaks to work silently, and I'm adding, and get feedback. I really couldn't ask for any other qualities in a teacher. Mr. Roche went beyond just teaching. He also serves in many roles in the high school. When I think of him now, I think of the endless support and feedback that he gave with students who needed complete portfolios in order to graduate last year, or even pass the Accuplacer. And this was before the state canceled those requirements. These students still followed through because, as Mr. Roche had worked with them so hard, they felt like they owed it to him and to themselves to actually still meet those requirements. He's also a teacher of film, and the students sign up every year to learn more about the art and language of film and its various nuances. He's the advisor for The Fling and has worked with students to archive its history going back decades and help them to move it to a digital format now available on the web as well. The students have been more willing to take on controversial topics under his guidance, and he makes sure that they frame their articles with facts, not just social media opinions. When I think of Brett, I think of the core concept that he teaches his kids. He takes them through what's known as the hero's journey in various novels, teaching them all about what it means to be a hero and what a hero has to deal with to be a hero. What I don't think he realizes, and what I want to make sure that we all hear about Brett, is that when the students finish the writing process with Brett, every student he has finds a hero in themselves. Congratulations to Brett Roche, our Teacher of the Year.
And Brett, I have to add that I know for a fact that you're a Pied Piper of students. You're definitely a student fave. So thank you, Brett. And my few words, Brett.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's been a difficult and challenging, I guess, 15 months professionally, personally. It's been really hard to figure out whether you're doing things that are that the students are appreciating, that you're effective as a teacher. So this means an awful lot to me, especially during this last year. So I appreciate the time that the board has set aside for this, the kind words from Mr. Lassiter and the support of my administration, and absolutely the feedback from the students, because it's really important to me. So thank you.
Wonderful.
And so now I'd like to talk about the high school's Educational Services Professional of the Year, Ms. Lima Zimmer. And she's worked for our district since 1998, 23 years in various capacities. What I remember about Ms. Zimmer is I also taught her son. So we have a bond right from the get-go every day when I see Lima. She's been our study hall supervisor for a number of years while I've been in the administration at the high school. But these past few years, she's also worked very closely with special education students to support them in their classrooms. The student quote for her, it definitely encapsulates what she's all about. Every interaction we had brightened my day. She's a very genuine person and everyone loves her. We have had some really nice conversations, and somehow she managed to remember me even though she saw hundreds of people every day. And so Alima touched the heart of this one student as she's touched the heart of many students over the years. Her kindness is without compare. She's caring for all of our students and for the staff. She also always volunteers to chaperone for dances, is an avid Owls fan, and can always be seen in the stands supporting our teams, regardless of how cold it is, how wet it is. Alima's out there cheering them on. She's always there to lend a hand and offer her watchful gaze when needed. She's a dynamo and a traveler. If you talk to Alima, you'll find out. I don't know how she does it. I really don't know how she can do all that she does, not just in school, but outside of school. She takes a lead, whether it is in charities like Toys for Tots, or even serving our democracy and voting processes, or our military in the Marine Corps League. She even flew over to London so she could see that recent wedding over there and be on the front lines to see that historical event. Knowledgeable beyond compare is Alima, with a story and a historical background on countless topics. If you talk to Alima, you're gonna get a story. She lives in the building I swear it. She's got a room upstairs, she says. And she's often here early. Before I even walk in the building, Alima's like already in the building. She stays later in the day to work on projects and decorate bulletin boards. A lot of people don't know she's the one that sets up the Black History Month bulletin board and the Women's History Month bulletin board. She leads the school in making cards for veterans and for troops, whether it be for Memorial Day or Veterans Day. And I'm wearing for you, Alima, one of the bracelets that you made years ago.
Thank you. Thank you.
And secretly, I think she's psychic. Okay, because when I talk to Alima, she always knows when something's going to happen, and I can trust her to give me credit.
So I should have been calling her all
Congratulations.
these days for snow day calls if she's that good.
She would have got it right. Congratulations, Alima, as
Thank
our
you.
Educational Service Professional of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Mike, and the Board of Education, Dr. Taylor, and to the faculty, to the students. I'm just so honored to be given this award. I've been a resident in Highland Park for nearly over 3 decades now. And I've seen a lot of these young people grow up since early childhood all the way to graduation. And I'd just like to thank everyone. I love this community and I love serving as a staff member at the high school. And I feel very attached and honored and proud to be a member of the Highland Park High School family. And I say family. Thank you all very, very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alima. And we have one more person we want to honor, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Speaking of
Cannot
special people.
cannot think of a better way to end the recognition tonight than by honoring Ms. Joyce Gregus, who's worked in our district and served our students since 1995 for 26 years. She has been in every single building in the district and worked with our students at every single level. And she's another one where I got that close bond because I taught her son. When I think of Joyce, I think of 2 words, and that's heart and soul. That's what Joyce gives to our students, to the schools, to the community. She gives her heart and she gives her soul. She's observant of anything that's asked of her. In fact, when we looked at Joyce this past year, I think she did every single hour she could as a paraprofessional in the master's teacher paraprofessional online training. Not a lot of people did that, but Joyce made sure she did every single hour. She's also incredibly observant. I could always count on her to let me know what was going on in students' lives outside the building, and at times what was really happening when an incident occurred in the building as well. Joyce would know. She's very loving of our students and staff. And in fact, she's often identified as a safe staff member for special needs students when they need to talk with someone. I will never forget breaking up a fight in the cafeteria for a student and pulling him aside and starting to get him to calm down and asking, you know, who do you need to talk to right now to really calm down? First words out of his mouth were Miss Gregus. I need to see Miss Gregus. And she was the one that clearly calmed him down and was able to help him talk to us so we could resolve the situation. She's always ready with a joke or a smile. And those of us that were her early at the meeting, she's right there first at the meeting, ready to get everyone happy and joyous. That goes right along with her name. Everyone has a story about how Joyce has made them smile. Mine have to do with how she pulls me aside and gives me feedback on the great job I am doing. As a principal, I don't get that often. And Joyce, I don't think you know how far that went on those days when I was particularly frustrated or had a bad day. Joyce is always thinking about others before herself. In fact, she's not retiring. She's going to jump right back into the aftercare before care program in our district because she can't be away from kids. And Joyce, we wouldn't have it any other way. Happy retirement. We do hope that you take some time to rest and spend time with your family.
Thank you so much. I have a few minutes. I want you to take your coat off. I'm just going to tell you that it started out in 1996 for me as a job. It was going to be a 3-month maternity leave, and I worked with a young student in a wheelchair. I had realized then, when I had been working at the hospital in the emergency room at Robert Wood, and I did emergency room registration, that I couldn't do it anymore. Just it was too sad for me. So I said, well, let me try this little job. 3 months, it can't hurt. Well, 3 months wound up into 26 years. And you know what? They've been the 26 years of hard work, dedication, seeing all the teachers, the administrators, what goes on behind the scenes. And I have enjoyed immensely working with everyone's child, no matter who they were. If they didn't go to the school and they were lost and they came in, sit down, I'll help you. Let me tie your shoes, honey, get you all straightened up. And you know what? It was the best. So I have to tell you right now, it feels like a divorce to me, 26 years. And it just feels like I'm not really losing anything, but my family will still be there for me when I come back. And like I used to say, I go from North 5th to South 5th each day. Till 3 o'clock was North, until 6 o'clock was South 5th. So I look forward to working to the after school program. I cannot retire with that, all the little kids. And I really want to thank everybody and let everybody know that I have enjoyed working with everyone immensely. You work so hard. You devote your life and your hard work and all your talents to Highland Park, to the district, to the Board of Education, to the nurses, to the custodians. They all put up with me. That's the funny part. They had a good laugh. We had a good time. And you know what? I could leave with a good feeling, but
Great.
It'll take a little time. I'll get to smile again. I've always told everybody at the end of the year, people are all happy. They're leaving, they're retiring, they're going to be off for the summer. Me? I don't know. I sometimes think I need Prozac. I think I get too depressed that it's going to end and I want it to start. Seriously. Yeah. So anyway, I want to.
That's great.
And I work with Mr. Lassiter and Dr. Taylor, and I work with many, many people. I can't thank them enough. They were wonderful. But wait a minute. Look, this is what I got. It's a beautiful award, and it says Joyce Gregus in recognition of 26 years dedicated service to Highland Park Public School District. That is me right there. And thank you so very, very much.
All right.
I never say goodbye without saying goodbye to Lima. Lima, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi, Joyce. Semper Fi. You're still with us. You're still with us in our West Hudson unit. Semper Fi.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Thank you, Joyce.
I love everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I've had.
Thank you, Joyce.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, before we wrap up, I do have a few more people I'd like to recognize. I would ask that those who have joined us for recognition, just stick around a few more minutes. I want to thank also a few people who are here, besides just many teachers who I see on the board. Susie Budine, raise your hand, Director of Special Ed Program, is here to throw her support behind all those folks who are recognized. And Michelle Rodriguez is here. She's one of our new directors of curriculum. Thanks, you guys, for being here to throw your support out there. So this is the second to last night. We do have two board representatives from the student population who were here, who I'd like to just say a few quick words about. Polly and Mariana. Polly and Mariana are actually in my own daughter's class, so I've known them for several years. I haven't quite seen them grow up when they were this small, but I have seen them at least for the last 3 or 4 years. And I have to tell you, Mariana, I'm very proud, really proud of both of you. The way you've grown up to become strong women who are not afraid to voice their opinions and express themselves, even in a public forum, like you have delicately from time to time since September. And of course, do all the hard work that's going on behind the scenes to present reports to the board. You know, the board, and even I, to an extent, don't know what's happening in the trenches, student trenches, and the perspective you both lent. I would speak, I think, safely for many board members, opened up our world to some of what is happening that we just don't see on a daily basis. So thank you. You're both hopefully going to take this and build on it and move on to something even better next year. So thank you. By the way, next week, members of the board will have our new board reps here to be introduced and shadow Polly and Mariana until they start in September. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out, a really important shout out. Not the first time I've done this, won't be the last, that these folks are recognized, to the Highland Park Education Foundation. Lisa Berlin is here. She's the current president. I also see Michael Braylove, and Diane Hoffman is here as well. These are members of our board of the Highland Park Education Foundation. I just like to be very sincere and honest in my love for this group, and then I will open it up to either Lisa or whoever, Diane or Michael, to say a few words. I know you wanted to share a little bit as well. I have an opportunity, along with Rod Magaziner, who's a representative from the board liaison to the foundation, to sit in on many meetings, usually once a month. I miss a few here and there. And I'm always amazed when at 7:30, these meetings usually go to like 9:30, sometimes later, that there are a group of people who are devoting their time, just like the members of the board do, although in almost all the cases, I believe, members of the Ed Foundation board are either out of the school system, like is the case with Michael and Diane, or who have kids who are older at the high school level, present so much of their time to just simply fundraising and giving us money. And this board knows, because we're always approving grants, that the money that has been flowing through our teachers' classrooms to supplement and support our programs is tremendous. And it's all coming from this group of volunteers that is contributing their time for no other reason except that they want to help. So I thank you. And with that, Lisa, Diane, Michael, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I would actually. And thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. And thank you to the board for this recognition for the Highland Park Education Foundation. Really appreciate your warm words, and certainly Mr. Taylor and Mr. Magaziner, thank you so much for the time that you spend with us every month, and giving us your partnership and your support. And certainly, Dr. Taylor, you're going to be very missed by the group as well. You could stop by and visit us anytime, though. Feel free to say hello. You know, I think it's a real honor to be recognized. And it's also just so wonderful to see everybody here tonight, and to see all the other recipients of recognition, especially in such a challenging year as we're emerging from the pandemic, to see that we're carrying on this tradition of really recognizing, I think, the really special and important educators in our community, as well as our student representatives who are so important to us. So thank you to everyone. And, you know, I think it's an example of just the ingenuity and the agility that everybody has shown throughout the many months. And I know for us at the Education Foundation, you know, we spent some time early in the pandemic saying, oh no, you know, what do we do now? How do we raise money? What do the schools need? You know, how can we continue to support the teachers? And we found through mini grants this year that we were able to support the teachers to effectively go after maybe items or things that they needed to support their remote learning initiatives. And so we actually funded a number of small grants over the past year that have paid for equipment and materials and other resources that the teachers needed to support the online teaching experience. And we're just been so pleased by the response from the teachers to this program, and the fact that we were all able to find a way in the middle of a crisis to continue to work together and to continue to support the students and the teachers throughout the pandemic. For those of you who don't know, and Scott, I appreciate you, welcoming us to say a few words about the Highland Park Education Foundation. And as I mentioned, or as Dr. Taylor mentioned, I am joined by some of our other trustees on the board. Diane and Michael are both here. I believe Matt may be here as well. And we are a group of really highly dedicated individuals from the community who are very committed to really raising funds for the schools to support teacher-initiated grants. So the teachers and the staff, we believe, know what their needs are, and they come to us with grant proposals around programs that they would like our support for. We work directly with the teachers and obviously the school system to support these grants. And we've, since 1996, funded a number of very key initiatives. So over 400 grants have been initiated, and well over $600,000 have been spent by the Education Foundation. And you can see that many of these programs are probably familiar to you. Earlier this evening, I heard the Camp Bartle program mentioned, normally known as Camp Bernie. We have always supported the families that cannot provide for payment for that particular program. We've been able to ensure that all children have been able to attend who want to. Along with Claire Berkowitz Fund, we fund the Diversity Day each year at the middle school. We have funded trips to Turtleback Zoo for special education students, the Robotics Club at Camp Bernie. We did quite a bit of work with Model UN, DECA, and the Robotics Club at the high school. And many others, including the STEM lab at the middle school, which was a recent addition over the past couple of years. So we do all of this without any large corporate sponsors, without any large donations. This is all donations raised from the community through the businesses and through individuals within our community. And so I think for tonight, in addition to thanking you for the recognition and really appreciating everything that you do, we would just ask that you help us spread the word about the Education Foundation. And if you want to learn more, or you want to share our information, you can certainly check out our website at hpefnj.org. And we welcome donations on the website, and obviously Facebook is also a resource as well to learn more about the Education Foundation. We are actively seeking members for the board. We are a small and mighty team, but we are always welcoming new members and new ideas and new thinking to the group. So if you or anyone you know is interested in becoming a member of the Education Foundation, feel free to reach out directly to me, Lisa Berlin, and I can be accessed on Facebook. I can be accessed, I'm sure the school can provide my contact information. I'm totally fine with that. And we would love to have people continue to join us and to be part of our team to continue to improve education and experience for our kids, as well as for our teachers in the community of Highland Park. So thanks again. Thank you for the recognition, and thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak. We look forward to your participation and participation of the broader community and Highland Park Education Foundation.
All right. Thank you for everything, Lisa.
Thank you.
So Mark, that concludes my report. I will next week spend a few minutes, since it's my last meeting with the group, talking about the fall. Dr. Nikosia will, of course, get into even more detail about what fall will bring for the district in July and then in August. But I'll share some preliminary information that I might not have shared yet with the district community next week. With that, by the way, Mark, I'd like to offer those who did come for the recognition ceremony to head out if they wish. It's a little easier to do that on Zoom. You have to
Before
physically
everyone
walk out of
does,
a room.
Scott, before everyone does, I just want to, I'll give the board's thanks to the HPEF. Thank you so much. I'm always reading the programs that you're supporting, for the last 5 years as finance chair. And I also want to thank all of our teachers and our educators and our administrators. This is an appropriate time. You're, so many here. This has been such a difficult year for everybody. And you've all risen above and beyond and really made us get through this year, helped us get through this year, and worked so hard for the kids. So really from the bottom of my heart and for the board, really like to thank you all and tell you how much we all appreciate you. So thank you, everyone. And especially our award winners, but everyone. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I thank everybody.
Thank
God bless
you.
you all.
God bless.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Take care of those of you
Good
who are heading
night.
out.
Thank you, everyone.
anyone who wants to go,
Thank you.
we have a long agenda. I'll wait
pass
just
the
a very
torch.
few minutes.
Pass the torch back to you, Mark.
Great, thank you, Scott. So we are up to public comment. So the Highland Park Board of Education welcomes public participation and has reserved this time for your comments. Board policies 164 and 167 establish and regulate the right of the public to participate in public meetings. This is our first public comment period. We have another one to follow after the board does our business. This public comment period is going to be total of maximum of 30 minutes, 3 minutes per speaker. So I'll give you some notice if you're getting up to that speaking time. So you can conclude your comments. So whoever has a public comment, I'm gonna look in the participant list. If you have a public comment, please raise your blue virtual hand. I'll call on you and you can make your comment. Okay, well, seeing no comments, you'll have another chance after we go through our agenda. I'm going to move on to the committee reports. So, Michelle, could you do the curriculum and instruction, a committee report and your one resolution? This is a workshop meeting. Oh, just to lay the groundwork here. This is a workshop meeting. We, in general, don't vote on anything. Tonight, though, we have one item, which is the first item of personnel, which is the ratification of the Highland Park Education Association contract, which they ratified on May 27th. We're going to ratify it tonight so that going into July, we'll have a ratified contract and the teachers can, without being retroactive, go on to their teachers and other staff can go on to their new salaries. So I'll call on Ann to make a real motion, but otherwise we're just reviewing motions for the 14th. So Michelle, could you just review the curriculum items?
Yes, and it will be very quick because we only have two. So the first item is the committee report, which unfortunately we never had a committee meeting. Scheduling conflicts and such got in the way, so that item is done. Number two is the list of field trips. So that is attached to the agenda. So you can review that at your leisure and ask any questions that you might have. But that's it, just the two items.
Great, thank you. So people did have a chance to read the field trip requests. Any comments on those? Anything? Okay. So finance did not have a committee meeting, but the district's central leadership team did meet to review some of the parts of the new Sr3 grant. This is the very large grant we're getting from the federal government through the state. And there'll be more to follow on that. But we are reviewing some safety protocols we do have to have in place, even though we're going to be, and perhaps because we're going to be completely in person in the fall, before we can apply for that grant, we have to have a safety protocol into the state, and that'll be going in the next couple of weeks. So I have a lot of items here. Item 2 is our general bill lists and athletic bill lists and cafeteria bill lists. Item 3 is the travel and related expense reports. Item 4 are contractors for various services for 2020 and 2021. These are the usual. This is professional development, camp invention, school psychologists, monitoring of our IT equipment, occupational therapy, nursing services, speech therapy services, physical therapy services, more speech and nursing, and 1 day for our supervisor of educational, temporary supervisor of educational services to continue into the next year to have a little bit of overlap with our returning supervisor. Item 5 is a resolution to approve a contract renewal for the school-based youth services program. That's for the amount of over $277,000. We have resolutions next time to approve transfers to emergency reserve, transfers to maintenance reserve, and transfers to capital reserve in the amounts of $150,000, $100,000, and $600,000. Item 9 is authorization for business administrator to make interim budget transfers. Item 10 is authorization for our business administrator, Linda, to pay the remaining 2020-21 school obligations. 11 is submission for application for extraordinary aid for the Department of Education. Items 12 through 17 are contracts for coordinated transportation services with other districts. This is typically to transport special education students to schools not in Highland Park. 18 through 22 are resolutions for bedside instructions for various students. Item 23 is a resolution for an out-of-district transfer for a student from East Mountain School to Sage School. Item 24 is a one-to-one aid. Item 25 is a one-to-one aid for a student. Item 26 is purchase of 2A radios. And this is going to be done with New Jersey SIG safety grants. Item 27 is quotes for the lead water model sampling and analysis reports. And item 28 will be the selecting of the award of that contract. Item 29 is repair of the wrestling mat hoist, and 30 is the award of that contract. Item 31 is the removal and disposition of carpeting at Highland Park High School, and 32 is the awarding of that contract. Item 33 is turning 4 walls into being able to have 4 windows, and number 34 is the installation of those windows. Item 35 is 37 compact portable filtration air purifiers. This is part of our safety protocol for the fall. And 36 is the awarding of that contract. And 37 is quotes to furnish and install 2 operable walls in Bartle, and the awarding of the contract for that. So it's quite a long list. Any questions about any of this? Darcy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we are going to be able to have a finance and facilities meeting so that we can discuss these kind of like big budget construction-y kind of items that this is the first time we're seeing.
Like to do is have the meeting if we can before the next board meeting, as we usually do. So Linda's there, perhaps schedule it for an hour before the board meeting starts. So if we start at 7:30, start it at 6:30, and if we start at 6:30, start it at 5:30. and hopefully we can all be there then. So yeah, that's the plan.
Mark, I can invite everybody now if you'd like to at that meeting.
Yeah, could people make that, well, Darcy and Rob, could you make that meeting at, and Chris, if you'd, like to join us, could we make that meeting for 5:30 and then start the regular meeting at 6:30? Be a week from today?
Next Monday.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Okay, let's do that.
That's great. 5:30 it is.
Okay, good. Thanks, Darcy. Anyone else? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Ann. Ann, perhaps you could do the Personnel Committee report and then move item 2, and we'll actually vote on item 2.
Okay, sounds good. Can you guys hear me? Amazing.
Yep.
Had a lot of trouble earlier today. All right, where are we? The Personnel Committee minutes. I had some trouble getting the right permission to transfer these to the board drive, but I think I've now successfully shared them with you. So they'll include all the confidential details that I'm not going to read out in public. Let me see what is not confidential. We met on June 7th. Sorry, June 1st, excuse me. Today is June 7th. We met on June 1st. Myself, Chris, Marilyn, Scott, and Dr. Nicosia. Let's see. We're saying goodbye to Ms., and I don't know how to pronounce her name, Scott. Is it Publicover? Our special services
I always call her Mary Pat.
Mary Pat.
Mary Pat.
But I will say, let's just say Mary Pat.
Well, we're very grateful to her for her work, and we're sorry to see her go, but we're very glad to see Didi Dietrich return. So welcome back, Didi, if you're listening. Let's see, you'll see on the agenda, there's a number of transfers, some retroactive compensation for staff who supervised some in-person students whose teachers were still remote for a period of time on May 3rd and afterwards. We are going to be, Scott expects, he told us, to be hiring a middle school nurse shortly. There's a posting out for Dr. Nicosia's old position as director of STEM with final round interviews to happen later this week, next week, and then I think the week after that. And let's see, I believe that is it. Oh, we talked a little bit about computer security and how it's very difficult given the way that our Google Suite works to allow students and board members and everybody to change passwords on the Chromebooks. This was something that had concerned some board members for a while. And Christina explained, I didn't understand it completely, but because of something called Active Directory, which I gather is a Microsoft product, it's just very difficult. So if you need to change your password, please call the school and that can be done for you. Apparently, it may also be able to be done if you do it on a non-Chromebook computer. So you might try to change your password on a PC. Doesn't work for everybody, but it may work for you. So, all right. Let me move on to number 2, one of the most important things that we do every 3 to 5 years. I would like to recommend that we adopt the resolution to ratify the contract between the Highland Park Education Association and the Highland Park Board of Education for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. The Board of Education President is authorized to execute the final contract reflecting the terms of the memorandum of agreement when presented in a form satisfactory to Board Council. So I'd like to move that item. Is there a second?
Second.
If I could say just a few words, Mark Krieger did the absolute lion's share of the work on this. He did a wonderful job. It was a very friendly meeting. Thanks to Keith, thanks to all of the union reps who were there at the meetings, and thanks to Marilyn as well. But Mark really led the way, and Keith, of course, and we were very grateful. Any comments, questions?
Could I make, I'd like to say a few words as well.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
So I certainly did a lot of the legwork in the back with our attorneys, but both Marilyn and Rob were there and did work in those meetings. And Ann, you did as well, and before you had to
go to my new job,
start your new job. But I want to thank the HPA EA yet again, and I see Susan Doozy is here. So Susan, you and Keith and Chris Broadfoot really brought a wonderful atmosphere to the meetings. And I'm that's quite amazing to say the words wonderful atmosphere, but we really did work well together. And we did something that was good for our professionals and also good for the community. So I really do want to thank you, and I love your background. So again, thank you. Really, it was quite an amazing set of meetings, especially how quickly we came to a settlement. And especially in this difficult year when so many districts are at impasse and are at impasse all the time. So just my comments.
Did we want to go forward and vote on that or
Yes,
finish the agenda?
let us
Okay.
vote. Let us
Okay, I
vote.
wasn't sure.
Yeah, if there are no other comments, we should absolutely vote. We want to vote on this so we can have the salaries in place before July 1st.
Right.
So could we have a roll call, Linda?
Oh, Linda, we can't hear you again.
Uh-oh.
Ms. Simoretti?
There you are.
Well,
Abstain.
that's on my phone.
Sorry. I have to abstain, and I just want to be clear, that's because I'm conflicted because my husband is an NJEA member.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
I also apparently need to abstain, although you all did a wonderful job, and I'm happy that this is going through. So
thank you.
Great.
You have to double abstain because your wife works.
I know.
Ms. McFadden Nicola?
Yes.
Ms. Bruce?
Yes, and thanks for letting me be part of the process. It really was very good thing to be a part of. So thank you, and yes.
Mr. Lislevich?
Yes.
Mr. Woodward?
Yes.
Okay, and you have the floor.
All right, thank you. I think I'm unmuted there. There are many personnel items as well. Sounds like someone's trying to talk, but I think it's an echo in my headset. Most things here are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to literally read through every single one. Let's see here. Let me see which ones are particularly interesting. We have Dee. Is it Deecher? I always say Deecher, but maybe it's Deitcher, Scott?
Teacher.
Okay. Number 6 is Ms. Deecher coming back from her leave. Number 7, we have a new special ed teacher being recommended at the high school. And Mr. Tucker in number 8 is going to be recommended as a full-time technician. So 9, 10, number 10 is transfers. All the staff have been notified of the transfers. And I believe Scott spoke with at least some of them personally. Number 11 is the additional duties to supervise certain classrooms when teachers were not yet back in person, for the in-person students who were in the school building while the teacher was not yet back in person. Let's see. Self-explanatory. We have lots of staff being appointed for the summer programs, and we hope everybody's encouraging our kids to consider signing up. Sorry, just scrolling through here. I should have printed it out on paper. Let's see. All right. And I believe that is it. You know what? Did I think I missed something in the personnel committee minutes. 1 second, if you don't mind, Mark.
About did you want to talk about the technology structure?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, Scott, why don't you go ahead and talk about it? You certainly know it more clearly than I do.
Oh, just real simple. Dr. Nikosia would like to restructure the technology department slightly, since we'll be losing a current full-time person. So she wants to make a part-time tech we have on staff, and we're very happy with full-time. And then instead of hiring another half-time person, outsource, just use a consultant as needed, which could come at a cost savings.
Good.
I believe the consultant was for sort of network monitoring, security monitoring of the network. And it was It was in the neighborhood of $8,000 a year is the anticipated amount. So it was a real cost savings.
Great.
So thank you to
Yep.
Dr. Nakosha for that.
Yep. That
And
was all
again,
I
if,
could recall.
if people want more details about the restructuring, somewhat restructuring of the tech department, I did just send out the minutes, so you can see it all there in all its glory. That's all I got, Mark. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Give me 1 second, please.
Of course.
Let's see. Okay, so we're on to policy committee. Darcy,
Hi.
there's nothing there.
Sadly, I don't have anything this month.
Right.
So finance, we've been working on our policies.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that, I don't know, maybe we'll see if we can push through with the meeting this week, if we can all figure out a time to get together a policy committee to review those finance policies, to get them onto next week's agenda. If not, then we'll absolutely get them onto next month's agenda. And I will work with the lovely Monique and Michelle to get those education, equity and excellence and curriculum policies through as well. So hopefully by the end of July, we will be done and just on the lookout for the next policy alert.
Excellent. Great, thank you. Monique, did you have anything for equity and excellence?
No, like curriculum, we had to push our meeting back. So we're going to have a combined meeting with curriculum this Thursday. I'll report at the next meeting.
Correct.
Excellent, thank you.
Policies top of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're on to public comment again. The Highland Park Board of Education welcomes public participation, has reserved this time for your comments. Board policies 164 and 167 establish and regulate the right of the public to participate in public meetings. So if you have public comment, raise your hand, I'll call on you. What I always forget to say is you need to give your name and your address before you speak. And I'll wait a few seconds to see if anybody wants to speak now. Okay, seeing no speakers, I have no president's report. I kind of snuck a president's report in response to some of the correspondence we had, but I have no formal president's report. Does anybody on the board have old business? Does anyone have new business? Okay, so seeing none, I move to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, see you next week, everyone.
Good night.
Right.